You good?
Yep.
Okay. Item number 2 is the consent agenda.
You find the meeting minutes there, on the back first page. Everybody's had to do those. I didn't see anything on there. Question? General fund encumbrances, and now that we've started a new fiscal year, so I'll just kind of take an opportunity to go through because this month we usually open up a lot of our blanket purchase orders for the year, so these are not monthly expenses. If anybody looked at those and thought anything of that. So some of those would be monthly or one time, but most of these are going to be our blanket purchase orders, especially for our utilities. So for Alfalfa Electric, $120,000. We try to do that based off previous years, and it sometimes is a little less, and sometimes a little more, but that's a pretty good estimate there. Amazon classroom supplies for 25-26. We are going to be purchasing supplies again like we have in the past. Sometimes we do have local churches and other groups that will either make a monetary donation to help with those costs, or they will provide some of the supplies themselves. And that varies year to year, but we usually do get some help with that. But that is something that we have continued to budget and feel like that's something that we can keep doing. Like I said, other utilities in there, fuel cost, City of Cherokee.
Is that with the new meter in at the football field?
You know, that's a good question, Paul. I'm not sure if we've got the new one in over there. That's something as busy as we've been with some other stuff.
No,
I mean,
I was just asking.
I don't know.
Okay.
I will find out. We don't have too many other things on there. Property insurance, $130,511. That's roughly what we've been paying for the last couple of years. We had a big jump about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's kind of leveled off since then, but that's still that's quite a bit.
Anybody have any other discussion on any?
Can you explain number 51 to me?
Yes, that. So we usually do travel expenses. So a lot of that could be 412 money for Mrs. Snyder.
Okay.
But in FFA, as much as she travels, Prosperity Bank is the credit card company that we use.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier if we do an open purchase order at the beginning of the year. So that's what that would be. It's a good question. Building fund, sure.
There won't be anything in that or child nutrition yet.
Okay. We are doing a couple things out of the building fund that will be coming up. We're doing some electrical upgrades at the ag farm, and then we're going to be putting on some siding on a portable building over at the elementary school. Ag farm project's about $4,100, and the new siding on that portable building over there will be about $11,000. So those are things that we will be doing out of the building fund. And child nutrition, I don't think there's anything on there. I do have a little something I will touch on briefly in my superintendent's report about child nutrition, but I'll wait till we get there for that. Activity fund. You can see there we have an ending balance of $207,000, and that's very close to what we try to keep in that account. That includes all of our activity accounts, so that's pretty close to what it was last year. And then we have the one transfer from the interest of the activity account into that beautification account. And we've been getting a little better interest rate, so we have a little more money there this year to transfer into that. And then on the treasurer's report, this is going to be at the back. These, I'll just go through here briefly. So this is as of 6/30, so for all official purposes on paper, these would be our carryover numbers for each account. General fund was at 1.8 million, which is a little higher than I expected, but there are still a little over $100,000 in outstanding checks. And so there is some there that will still come out, which that's a good thing. We had a little bit more come in at the end. And we kind of tightened some things up a little bit at the end too, but we have some bigger expenses to start this year. So it all kind of balances out, but otherwise that's a very good number for us, very healthy. Building fund, 261,000, which is just about exactly what it was last year. So we're spending what we're bringing in right now in the building fund. We are doing a couple of these early projects here, but lunch fund is about where we expected it to be, and then our roof bond and sinking funds, that's usually the numbers that we see at the end of the year, and we like to see the positive one in the sinking fund. So it's been on the negative side a few times, but now that the protests have kind of leveled off, we don't see that as often.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda A through F. I'll second. Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson? Yes. Collins? Yes. Parker?
Yes. All right, we'll move into item number 3, principal's report.
Since our last board meeting, I received plaques from the OSSAA. Both girls and boys track received the academic achievement plaque. This is given to the teams whose cumulative GPA is 3.5 or higher and rank in the top 10% of their class. So that's pretty awesome. A few new things this year: sports physicals coming up pretty soon. They're going to be here. Garfield County Health Department will provide sports physicals for free on site. So on July 28th from 11 to 2, that's also enrollment day, and August 4th from 11:30 to 1:30, they will come up here, they will use our locker rooms, and they will provide free sports physicals for our students. They do ask that you make sure you have the long OSSA sports physical form filled out beforehand, and they will also, and we'll probably post this earlier, like 7th grade that need their TDAP shot to enter to 7th grade, they can provide those as well, free of charge while they're here. So this is something new we're trying this year, so hopefully it works out great. Enrollment, as I said, is July 28th. I asked with our new syllogist, please enroll your children beforehand. This helps us find our numbers. We're about, I would say, maybe halfway junior high and half of our high school kids. I don't know on the elementary side, I didn't look that closely with them. Are enrolled. If you already have the app, if you have trouble logging in, just call the school. I can help you out. Ms. Tucker can help you out. I'm sure there's a few others that can help you out. Get logged in. The hard stuff was last year, the initial one, unless you have changes in your address or anything. This year you just have to make sure your addresses and contacts are correct, and then go through and answer yes or no to all our enrollment questions. I think it took me 15 minutes to do both kids. So it's pretty easy to do. It's a lot faster than it was last time, but please get that done. I know we've been sending emails out and posts and stuff. That helps us, especially over here, get our schedule figured out and set of where our splits need to be, what our electives, where they need to be, so we can provide the best opportunity for the majority of our students. Something else we're going to do different this year, senior panel pictures. We switched to a new photographer. And so they're allowing us to allow our seniors to come up before school starts and take their senior panel pictures. That way, they don't have to hurry around early in the morning, come to school, bring their stuff and all that stuff. They have a day. It is July 29th in the auditorium. I have to get back with on times. I think they're going to be here all day, at least half a day, so the seniors can come up and get their panel pictures taken that day. So if they want to spend extra time getting their hair ready, or the boys shaving, or tying a tie, or whatever they want to do, I think it'll make it a little bit easier for them that way. I know picture day for seniors sometimes is a little crazy. So, Miss Cherokee is August 1st in the auditorium. I think that's at 7 o'clock. Well, I know last board meeting we talked about the softball field. They're planning on starting work on the softball field next week, getting that all built back up and leveled off, and everything where it will drain a little better than it does now. Also, Mr. Patterson and I went to Coastal Leadership Conference this summer. It was very good. We learned a lot of stuff. Just about everything I went to the cell phone law and that bill. And so we learned a lot of things about schools that already have that in place. We had a policy in place. It's going to be a little bit different as far as discipline and everything goes. It's already in handbook misuse of electronic communications. So, but I think it'll be good. But literally just about everything I went to had something to do with that, or something in the past as far as safety, or cell phones did become a problem when securing a school or having problems at school. So it's not just an education learning, it's also a safety issue with those in mind. So I think that's everything.
Mr. Pruitt, what's it gonna cost to get the softball field back up in shape?
Well, the material I think I'm going to be able to get for right around $1,400, and I think the work to do it all is $4,800, so just a little over $6,000.
Mrs. Patterson, for her report, just said that elementary looks great. She's very appreciative of everybody's hard work so far getting that building ready, and they're just in the planning stages. She's in Orlando with the FCCLA group, so that's where she's at tonight.
Also, I would like to tell you, thank those boys that did waxing in there. It looks nice.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
floors.
yeah, they've done a really good job.
All right. Thank you. Item number 4, discussion and vote to accept a sealed bid for the Genie Scissor Lift.
So we only got 2 bids. First one here is from Matt Aker with INE Tech, Amplified Energy Company, and looks like Alva. And he has a bid for $6,286. Let's look at that. I didn't want to go sheet. The other bid that we have is from Craig Frederick from Medford. And his bid is for $6,800 even. So we have some options there with these 2, or we can choose to not accept either, and we can try another route. With only 2 coming in, I'm kind of inclined to see if we can't hold on to it, try to publicize it again and put it out there for sale, maybe with a different, a set number on it, something like that. I feel like it's worth a little more than that. Brand new one, just like it's going to be close to $20,000, and it's only got, I think, 3 hours on it, something like that. So we did put new batteries in it, so I mean, it's in good shape, but like I said, if we have more come in, I might feel a little bit different, but with only 2, I did receive several calls inquiring about it. I thought we were going to have maybe close to 6 or 7 bids, but those are the only 2 that we received.
Can we put a minimum bid on that?
Yeah, I think we have the option to, if we wanted to put it out there, we could put a number that we feel like is acceptable, and even put it out there for that price, just a regular sale. I thought this would be probably a good option to start with, but anyway, like I said, if we had more, I might feel a little bit more confident taking these, but, I don't know. Like I said, it's a good piece of equipment, so I don't wanna give it away for less.
I just happened to look one up right before. It was a 2017. It's a little bit different. It's a GS 1930, and I'm sure it's got a lot of hours on it, 5850. So I understand what you're talking about, having more beds, but I'm not so sure, I'm not sure how close or far off we are
Okay.
with that.
Like I said, those are the two there. Those are the only two that we did receive, so, I mean, the higher of the two, I have confidence in the higher bid that we wouldn't have any problems getting that from them, but,
I think we ought to just leave it open a little bit longer, see if any more bids come, we could advertise it again.
that's kind of where I'm
So do we
at.
need to reject these bids first?
Yeah, I think you would probably just need to go ahead and vote, if that's the direction to go, make a motion to vote not to accept these and, list it for sale a little bit longer. Go that route, if that's what.
And do you want to put a minimum bid on it? Alan?
I would just word it from the standpoint of we leave it open for a little longer, and that way if we come back and want to accept this high bid, we can. And, say we leave it open for another 30, 45 days, or whatever you want to do, that.
Next,
allow-
we
next
reject-
meeting at least?
We rejected the bid and we put it back out like for sale, like a certain amount, and we have no buyers, like it'll be for sale for this period of time. Nobody buyers or buys it for that price, and we put it back to bid. Can we contact them and say, hey, you had the high bid,
Yeah.
submit a bid again?
Yeah, well, I think it's only right to contact these people anyway tomorrow, let them know what we decided in the meeting, and let them know that if they would like us to hold on to these, we can. If they want to resubmit another bid, if they would be more than, they would have the right to do that too.
Well, I'll make a motion that we just keep it open for another, till the next meeting.
Or the day before the next meeting.
Or the day before the last meeting.
Yeah, we can do that, or whatever that Friday is.
Yeah.
I can put a date on it and do that. That would be August 1st. So that would give us another, that gives us another 4 weeks to see. Like I said, I can contact them.
I'll second that.
Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Parker?
Item number 5, discussion vote to approve or not approve the district transfer capacity numbers.
These really haven't changed, so have those included. This keeps us within the limits with what we have available as far as teachers, dividing up classes at the elementary, and so that we're not overcrowded there. We do have a handful of pending transfers, and we've got to get people that we know are coming back to enroll to get an accurate number of what our class sizes are right now. A lot of those transfers are at the elementary level, and so hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we have a little bit better idea where those will be, but these would be the numbers after administration met that we feel like we can handle.
Make a motion to approve the district transfer capacity numbers.
I'll second it.
Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson? Yes. Collins?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Item number 6, discussion vote to approve or not approve the district personal electronic device policy. There's a copy of it in here if you haven't seen it, towards the back.
So So this is one that I've been talking about for quite a while. We knew that something was going to come out of the legislative session with it. This is a draft policy from the OSSBA, which is where we get 99% of our policies. We didn't really change much in it other than to tailor it to Cherokee Board of Education or Cherokee schools where necessary. The thing that I think is going to be the biggest difference from what we've had, and Mr. Pruitt, feel free to jump in whenever, but to me, in this building over here, junior high and high school, we really have not allowed the use of cell phones in classes on a regular basis for quite some time. This defines bell to bell as the morning bell, which is 8:10.
8:05 actually,
Okay,
when
first
we
bell.
let them come into the hallways and go to the lockers.
So it would be from 8:05 till 3:20 at the end of the day. They would not have access or use of their personal electronic device, which is cell phone, and if I'm not mistaken, to include smartwatches.
Smartwatches and earbuds.
And they can't use them during lunch hour, right?
Not during the building. Now, if we
Well, I
have,
know,
like,
but I mean, right here in the building.
right, okay, not in the building.
I'm just trying to clarify this.
Yeah.
So we are required now by law to have a policy that addresses this. There are exceptions. If their IEP, their medical plan, or 504 plan explicitly requires that it is for an assistive technology or medically or educationally necessary purpose. One of the questions we had is, we do a lot of things with like best things of the week. A lot of times they would use their phones to do that. We will have school devices, school issue devices that they will be able to use and still do those things. I will say that through the conversations that I've been a part of, the talks that I've heard from other schools that have had policies very similar to this for a while, they have had nothing but positive things to say. I know there will be some headaches and some things that we got to work through, but there will be fewer distractions, and there should be more time spent on task, on things. I'm looking forward to seeing kids talk in the lunchroom instead of stare at their phones.
And then in terms of discipline for this, it'll be addressed in the handbook, or does that have to be attached to this policy?
So it doesn't have to be specific to this policy, but we do want to cite in the policy that the disciplinary action for violation of the policy will be referenced in the handbook. And that's kind of what Mr. Pruitt was saying a little bit earlier.
Our current handbook policy says for misuse of electronic communications, step 1 is a conference or day of ISS for first time. Second time is 2 days of ISS. Third time you go up to out of school suspension. It's kind of in the middle of the road. When I went to summer conference, there's a school there that has had a policy like this since 2012. And their first offense is 3 days out of school, or you leave your phone in the office vault for 24 hours a day for 7 days. But you have that choice. And your second offense, he said they have, and it's a 2A, I think they're probably a 2A, 2 or 3A school. Their grade card grades, from 2012 to now, those first 3 or 4 years, they just raised every year, and they've been at the top ever since there. I listened to a 6A school, one of the largest, if not the largest, one of the largest 6A schools. They implemented this last year. Outside, turn it off, and theirs is, I think, a little bit different because they have so many students as far as discipline, like a conference, and you get like 2 chances, and then you start getting in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension. And so they gave numbers on their eligibility report, and we're talking they have 1,300 freshmen 3,500, 10 through 12. And their eligibility numbers went from 25% failing and like 20% on the at-risk list to 20% and 15. So we talked about 5% raising the difference. And they said when they first implemented the first 2 weeks, the principal was there said, we had our running shoes on because that seems like, but by the end of the year, their freshman academy actually had one day in there where they had 0 violations. So you got 1,300 kids with 0 violations. Their high school had a day that they had 1 violation, so 3,500 kids with 1 violation. So they said, everybody you talked to said, it's got to have teeth and you got to stick to it, or else it won't work. If I could add to that, I did listen to another school that I believe it was last year before they had a active shooter threat on the phone, stayed on the phone the whole time. It was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. All the kids had their phones because they didn't have this policy, so they're all calling their parents. So their parents are showing up. Well, the OSBI, the Highway Patrol, local law enforcement, they're all showing up as well. So the parents can't get in. They can't let their kids out. The parents can't get in. So, they said the first thing the OSBI did was go in and confiscate everybody's phones. And so you had parents that were going from communication with their children to no communication, which made it even worse. And so this was like on Thursday before fall break. They get back on Tuesday after fall break, and they have a bomb threat, same deal. It's before school starts. So they ended up finding who it was, and it was cell phone induced. They've had an app on a cell phone. They were current students that were using their cell phone in a class to do this, but they said so that was a problem they had, and then the students having communication with their parents and all the parents showing up, and then no communication with their students caused lots of headaches, lots of problems, and made the reunification process even harder because all the parents were already at the school. And so you couldn't take them to an undisclosed location, so they ended up having vehicle accidents and everything, trying to get that taken care of. So that's the part that people don't think about is the safety issue as well, as if you do have something happen and parents start showing up, they add to the problem. And so they now have a no cell phone policy. They said you can't even DoorDash or whatever for lunch anymore. And the kids are fine with it, the parents are fine with it after they went through a week of that.
I will make a motion that we adopt the policy that we've been presented, that the OSSBA put out, that we then edited for our usage.
I'll second.
Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve the interlocal agreement with the City of Cherokee and Alfalfa County.
It's something we've been doing every year and we'll need to continue to do so that we can have in-kind services between the county and the city, which some of those services I'll be talking about on our next item. So just need to approve it again for this year.
I'll make a motion to adopt number 8, discussion and vote.
About 7.
7, sorry. Sorry, my glasses ain't working tonight.
I'll second.
Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
All right, item number 8, to vote to approve or not approve the resurfacing of the gym parking lot.
So this has been something that has been a project that we needed to address for quite some time, but figuring out the best thing to do, the best way to do that, and then what we should, what we can afford. So what we would be talking about, first of all, we would be looking at a $30,000 investment in this project, and that would be paying for the materials through help of the county. We would be getting some hauling of the materials and the labor and the installation, the grading, all of those things done. What it would be is on the south side of the gym, about one lane wide. A strip of new asphalt would go down there as a good solid base layer. And then we would be doing what they call chip and seal over the rest of the parking lot and the east side of the gym up to the road over there where we have vehicles parked there. We would be bringing in asphalt to, I think they call it, what they call it, cold pack, cold field,
Cold Lake,
hot mix, yeah.
hot mix, Cold Lake.
They'll be sweeping it and then going in and filling the holes with that, and then going over the top with the chat and the oil mixture that holds all that together. They do this a lot of time on roadways, but in talking to the county and some of the city guys, and like I said, we've talked about it for a while to explore some different options. We really feel like this would be a good answer to our parking lot problem out there. We know it's been kind of like driving through a minefield for several years. Pull up all occurring. We have visited with AEC. We think that we will be able to get those light poles replaced with some newer ones. They're a little bit taller and get the lights up a little higher. Should give us a little better coverage with the lights as well.
Can they go with the newer heads?
Probably whatever the newest one's available. The ones that are out there are LED lights. They're not too old.
Okay,
But
well,
yeah,
LED's a
it
lot
might
cheaper
be.
to run.
Yeah, and we
And
did
so-
replace, I think we replaced those lights a couple of years ago, to brighten it up. I've also talked to the city, and they're gonna do some work on the drain, the culvert on the southeast corner of that parking lot where it holds water, and the ditch going east toward the field house, clearing that out a little bit and getting that opened back up so that that water, when it does run off and hits there, it keeps going, and it doesn't just sit down there. Like I said, I have no doubt it would probably, it would be maybe close to $1 million to put a new asphalt parking lot out there. I don't think that that's something that we can do or want to entertain, but we need to do something, and we need to do something rather than just hauling in some millings and filling in holes and moving it around. And like I said, with this interlocal agreement, being able to work with the county, I think it will be a good option for us. One that it takes a little bit of money, but I think we'll get several good years out of it, and I think the upkeep and maintenance, if we did have a problem, shouldn't be as much as if we were trying to do asphalt or something like that. We would have to go back and paint lines and parking places and things like that once we did this, but we've kind of talked about that and how we can get that done as well. So I think it would be a good move. It's something that, like I said, has been needing addressed for quite some time, and it's kind of been an eyesore, but I know when you watch cars pull in and out of there, there's a lot of bumpers that scratch the ground occasionally.
So I know you said it'll be several years that it will last, but what is the actual like estimated? Like,
I
Depending
couldn't,
on weather?
I wouldn't want to tell you an exact number.
But it wouldn't be something like necessarily in 2 years, we're looking at the same.
I don't think so. When you do that chip and seal, they said that the thing that wears those down on the road is the high speed traffic. And we won't have that out there. I mean, we will have some semis and some buses, some heavier vehicles, but we won't have the high speed traffic. So I could see some of the areas that get driven a little bit more often up next to the buildings, that lane that goes through there, maybe being an area that wears down a little bit faster. But hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping, 5 years before we have to worry about too much out there, but that's my best guess.
Well, like I discussed with you, my main concern is we're spending $30,000 out of the general fund. I want to make sure it's going to be there for a long time.
Okay.
Or we're not doing this in 2 years or 3
Right.
years.
Yeah. Like I said, we had a lot of conversations on what the best route would be to go. if we don't, I think you're looking at just gravel, rock, loose out there. You'd have to scrape it off, but I mean, we really do need to do something, so.
Good.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve number 8.
I'll second it.
Michael,
Yes.
Poe,
Yep.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Item number 9, proposed executive session to discuss certified personnel and salaries. I'll make a motion, we enter into executive session.
Michael,
Yes.
Poe,
Yep.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Parker.
There you go.
We're ready for item number 10, to return to executive session. Return to public session.
I will second.
Michael,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
In executive session, we discussed the hiring of certified personnel to include salaries and contracts for the school year 2025-26 pursuant to 25 OS 307B1.
We'll move on to item 10, to vote to approve or not approve the hiring of Ms. Carly Hall for middle school teacher and various other coaching duties throughout the year, and to hire Mr. Jeremy Bockelman as the elementary PE teacher and various coaching duties throughout the year. I'll make a motion that we hire both of those individuals for the duties said.
I'll second.
Who was that? You?
Me.
Okay.
So fine.
Michael,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
All right, item 11, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the contract with LPC Carol Roberts and LPC Alicia Bighart for the school year 25-26.
So we would contract again with Carol and Alicia. They've been with us for several years. This would be like last year for 1 day a week to come in and meet with students. We would like to continue that. Costs approximately, with both of those individuals for the year, that costs us about $31,000 for the year. But they see it.
Pretty similar last year.
Yeah, yeah, I presented them the same contract, same fees, so, no additional cost, but I think it's pretty valuable for our kids.
I will make a motion to approve the contract with Carol Robertson and Alicia Bighart.
I'll second.
Michael,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Item 12, no action needed on it. Move on to 13, superintendent's report.
I don't have a whole lot, just that we've got a lot of different projects going on, and we will get started just as quick as we can. On the parking lot project, as I mentioned earlier, we're doing some electrical upgrades at the Ag Farm, and then adding new siding to the portable building that we have over there at the elementary. It's in need of that. Our summer crew, as Paul noticed, our hallways over here are shining and looking good. They're doing a great job. They did a great job getting the complex ready for the 4th, and we appreciate Cherokee Main Street and getting that all cleaned up, Lions Club, and everybody that had something to do with that. I thought it went really well over there. I mentioned earlier that I would say something about our child nutrition fund. Found out today, not because our state superintendent decided to let the schools know, but because he emailed the parents rather than the schools and the people that it really affects there, that he is trying to make it to where schools have to pay for the child nutrition, which sounds great. Getting every kid a free meal, I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is somebody trying to weaponize that and get all the parents on one side and not work with the schools to come up with that. He would basically, it sounds to me like he's trying to force us into a budget and mandate something without providing any cost or any way to cover that cost. So I'm not very happy about the way that that's handled, but that's about par for the course with him. And so I don't know. I don't know what that's going to do. If you get questions about that, I will tell you to tell people to call me, and then I will give them the information I have for the State Department, and they can call down there and they can talk to them. But it's just another example of, put the cart before the horse, expecting the schools to pick up the tab for a lot of things. And like I said, it would be great if we could do that. But at this point, that's a lot of money. We do, I want to make sure and say this, we do provide free breakfast, and we pay for that. That comes out of our budget every year. We plan for that. We intend to continue to do that as long as possible. A lot of kids do take advantage of it, some don't. But as far as being forced to have to pay for that and being notified of that in mid-July, or not being notified by that, I guess I should say, I don't think there's anything in the state law according to OSSBA that can force them to do that, but I'm sure they'll try to find a way. So in case you don't notice, I'm not real happy about that, but more upset about the way it's being handled, not what it's about. And that's been the problem with him all along. So we can fight some of these battles together if you'd like, but if you choose to go that route, then you're going to get some pushback. So anyway, I want to go on record and say that.
Can I ask a question about that? I know, I think it was a while back, we had talked about, there was one program that we qualified at one point in time where everybody got free lunches and free breakfast.
Yeah, we didn't qualify for that. No, we thought we might, but Ms. Samantha and I looked into that, and that was the child nutrition program lady, and it's not as good as it sounds. It makes it sound like once you hit 50%, you would qualify for that, but that's not entirely true. So we did look into it, and we didn't qualify. So we do have about 50% that are free and reduced, and so we're talking about 50% of our students having to pick up the tab for that. And so if we're forced to do that, we'll find a way. But like I said, it's about working together on things like that, not throwing them at schools at the last minute. So other than that, like I said, I'm pretty happy with where things are. I appreciate our people this summer. We still got a lot of work to do. Try to get everything ready to go for 1st of August when we come back, but we'll be ready. That's all I got.
It's the first day of school.
August 7th.
Sounds good. Item 14, any new business?
No new business.
Number 15, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You're on that.
Second. Sorry.
Michael?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Collins?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.